Hey everybody! Hey everybody! Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you. Sorry, I tried to be the bigger person and let someone know that people were messaging me asking for some information on somebody. And now they're accusing me of being the reason someone's gonna find out who they are. I don't know. But one thing about me is definitely not gonna ever give you info, so I don't know why anybody thinks it's okay to message me and ask where somebody works, but I'm not going to give you that info ever. Like, if they don't say it on live, you're not getting it. Just like Emil, I've not given out his address, and I've done everything to try to keep his city out of shit until he started putting it out there himself. So you can believe what you want about me, but one thing about me is I know that I don't get on here and do things to put people's real lives in danger. That said, kids should be off limits. And it's really weird energy to be posting things about my family, especially when you don't know anything about them. I do recognize that some people have no ethics or morals or boundaries. Yeah, I won't even give out Detroit Nike shit. And people have asked for that for days and months and weeks, and they're starting to cover him more and want it. And yeah, I don't know where this person works. I don't really care to know. I've never looked them up a day in my life, nor has anybody with me. So I will say that I got a lot of messages with pictures of my little sister today that got posted on an account. I think someone thought that it was me. That wasn't okay. That was despicable. I don't know if it got taken down or if you took it down, but I would like to say thank you for that, because at the end of the day, you can have your beef with me, but you don't have to involve my family. And if you don't know what's going on mental health wise, you should be really careful about the family members you try to bring into it and shame. To the person who messaged my mother last night and tried to convince her that I've told everybody she was a terrible mother, shame on you. It's, again, weird energy. Never have I ever reached out to anyone's family member. I think the only one I've ever talked to was Emel's sister-in-law, and that was because she reached out to me. Yeah, people are starting to go real life. They posted my little sister when she was a minor this morning. It's weird. If you have a problem with me, come at me all you want. But never would I ever go after anybody's family members, especially when they're innocent in everything. Just feel like that does need to be said because my little sister didn't deserve to be posted, and my family doesn't deserve to be a target of anything. And I realize that there are a lot of people who are sociopathic enough to, if I did it, I'd be a terrible fucking person, but I've never done it, and look at what's happening. I realize you can't reason with people who don't really give a shit, but, your beef is with me. And I don't know if you think that, like, going to my family is an intimidation tactic or what the intent is. I can't imagine hurting anybody at that level. But getting the photos, the screenshots that I got today, I would like to thank whoever pointed out, because I did get some screenshots and someone in the comments had said something that looked like they had posted, how was it worded? I think they basically just indicated that didn't look like me. It looked like one of my sisters, and that it appeared she was a minor. And they did reach out to someone who was close to me, and that person confirmed it was my little sister. I don't know if the intent was to post me. I don't know what the point of it was. I don't. My sisters, my family, they haven't done anything to you. And for everybody who says that I'm the terrible person and I'm dangerous and all of this, I'm not the one doing these things. I don't go real life like that. I did get some messages last night from fake accounts asking where Holly May worked, and I will tell you, my response was, I don't have anything on her, but even if I did, I wouldn't give it out. I messaged Holly May, I unblocked her and messaged her to let her know that, hey, some people reached out on fake accounts. I think they're just trying to stir up drama, but I guess that something got said about my essay on live last night, and they were trying to instigate using it and saying they want your information. I said I'm not doing it. I also told her, I'm dealing with the fact that my little sister got posted, But because I didn't respond, I guess I'm a terrible fucking person because I didn't give the names of the fake accounts, and I'm being accused of essentially, if anything happens to her job, it's my fault. I don't know where you work. I know the name you've put online. I don't even know if it's fucking real or not. I don't care to know you. I look up people like Emil. But even Emil, I won't give his information out. I won't tell you his address. I won't tell you his mom's name or his dad's name. His dad we know because he talks about him on live. I won't tell you. I haven't looked into his brothers and sisters. I would never bring his family into this to call him out for the bad things he's done. I haven't reached out to his family to say, hey, do you know your son or your brother exposed himself knowing minors watch him? I don't do that shit. So I just want to say, if you've got beef with me, you've got beef with me. You probably don't care. You're probably going to double down and try to hurt my family and all of this. But I would hope, thank you, Southern Mimi, there are some people around people who can be the voice of reason, in that if you want to say I'm a terrible person and that I deserve all of this stuff, going after innocent people is literally, what is it? I think it's weird. Again, I think it's weird to post images of minors. I think it's weird to dig into family members and use them as leverage. But I also think it's weird to sit there and say in one breath someone's such a terrible person and then go to that level. I never would I ever. No, Panda doesn't do dirty work, honey bunches. Panda might Google somebody's name, but that's not dirty work. Weird energy, though. And again, sweet cheeks. We don't look up people's families and shit. If it's looking up someone, it's a valid lookup, like Emil. I'm not going to go look up Holly Mae's information. I don't need to know where she's at. I don't need to know who she is, because I'm not going to fight with that person, so don't message me trying to get her information. But at least have enough civility to recognize you're trying to say someone's a terrible person by crossing all of these boundaries. Yeah, I know, Casey. I will continue to stand up for what's right. Again, like I said last night, someone messaged me about some individuals they found on this app that they believe are P3dos that are interacting with kids. So we're looking into that. I don't do this petty beef stuff. There's a difference between making something known, and there's a difference between doing things like someone would do, maybe sitting on live and saying, because someone's essay wasn't like yours, theirs didn't happen, and at least they got to enjoy theirs. At the end of the day, there's a moral and ethical high ground. And if you have to cross it to hurt somebody, that's not on me. And it's not proving any point. I'm not going to fight fire with fire. I'm not going to sit here and go after people's families. I'm not going to sit here and give people information on people. I'm going to continue to run my platform the way I have run my platform since the beginning, which is to call out the people who are manipulating people and hurting people to gain financially or otherwise on this app. But I think it's really, it speaks a lot to the people who are okay with family being drug into it, and it speaks a lot to the people who think that it's a form of karma to bring innocent people into it. And it speaks a lot of people who think that it is okay to bring individuals that have nothing to do with anything into it. I would also remind you that you know me, you know my mental health, you see me. You don't know the mental health of other people you're fucking with. I'm not saying anything is like certain on anything, but you don't know what you're doing to anybody's mental health when you reach out to them and you lie to them in an attempt to hurt me. And I would hope that down the road you would consider what that implication might mean if you were to take it too far with someone who you genuinely just don't know and understand. And I would hope you recognize your issues with me.
Hey.
I would hope not, Casey. Mental health is real. I am worried about people on this app. I've been getting a lot of messages lately. I am really sorry. Again, I don't think the apology is going to come from the person who needs to issue it. But I am really sorry to the people who felt invalidated or belittled or anything when it comes to your trauma, especially rooted in SA. And I hope that you know there are people here who will listen and who hear and they see and they aren't okay with it in terms of the invalidation. Because I know comments were directed at me, but I also know they were absorbed by others. And I can't make anyone issue an apology. But I can tell you that you are seen and heard, and nobody has a right to ever tell you if your experience is valid or not. People cry about the things they said the other night, and I wasn't. I am very concerned. What's funny is, like, I'm such a narcissist. I'm not concerned for myself. I'm concerned for everybody else. I'm concerned for the people who were made to feel that because of those words, they somehow are less important in terms of the word trauma, if that makes sense. I'm concerned that there are people who are willing to go so deep into people's lives that I know, if not me, it would be somebody else. Because nobody deserves that. Messing with innocent people, nobody deserves that. Oh, Ellie, thank you for coming up the other day. I had a good conversation with you. I understand sometimes there's not an end game. I think we've had a good few nights. Thank you, Goddess Sarah. We got on last night. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm here to, like, start looking into the P3dos again. I'm here to start calling out the people who are interacting with children when they shouldn't be. Like Barry. He's back on. He's been kicked off before for the behavior. Thank you, Ginger. But can you mute that person? Like, that's a weird comment. I don't do that passive aggressive weird stuff. Well, you could have just been civil. You didn't have to say you'd send me a rose if I didn't mute you. It's weird. Because that to me just tells me you have bad intentions. Yeah, I'd block too then. But, I'm going to continue doing what I do, which is help people understand when you might want to be with someone on this app or when you might not. And from the start, it's been beggars, it's been P3dos, it's been people who hurt people. We followed Keto because of what he did to a woman in real life. And absolutely, I looked him up when he said his name. Google's free. But I want to make it explicitly clear, we don't run background checks. We don't conspire to look up every single person that has a beef with me. I don't give people information on people. If you're in my inbox asking me for something, it better not be someone's info. I don't care if it's email. I don't care who it is. You gotta have some boundaries. Because if you don't have boundaries, you're gonna get somebody hurt heavily. And I made that mistake once at the very beginning. I learned from it. I've grown a lot. I've been able to become a better person because of it. And I was talking to someone today, and in terms of my mental health, I feel a lot better in a lot of ways. I feel stronger in that I don't have to immediately respond to everything being said about me. I don't have to be afraid. I know I'm strong. I know I fuck up. I know I'm human. I know I make mistakes.
I'm not afraid anymore.
But, the Home Alone. But, hell yeah, it is. My chair is amazing. And I keep it squeaky just so people can hear it. because sometimes that chair's got shit to say. I don't take myself seriously, by the way. To anybody who thinks like the chair comments hurt, it's okay. To anybody who thinks I haven't become immune to being called calorie, it's okay. To the people who have attempted to say it's not okay to put a false jacket on somebody and that my essay isn't my story, where have I given you the name? Where have I come out here and blasted this individual? Where have I made it indicative of who they are? I knew from the beginning there were going to have to be boundaries when I spoke on it, because I didn't press charges. But my story is still my story. And I'm allowed to talk about that. And I think the one thing I've been really in my head about lately is how badly I feel for the people who have had to listen to that conversation, and feel their own stories being invalidated. Because I have heard people tell me stories that are similar to mine and realize that I'm not alone. I have heard people talk about exactly what happened, and I understand that people don't understand what a hypothetical is, but I didn't meet this person in a bar and have a one-night stand with them. They didn't want people to know they were married, and they knew a lot of people wouldn't be with them if they knew they were married. So they lied, and they took an ability to consent away knowingly. And you can call it being catfished, but what happened to me was extremely violating. And it has impacted my life. So I don't say that for the people who want to drag it. I say that for the people who need to hear that, because nobody should make you feel less than because your trauma doesn't mirror theirs. And I would hope that everybody knows that. Again, to the person who posted my sister when she was a minor, if you took the post down, I do thank you for that. I would suggest maybe understanding people's mental health a little bit more before you make posts on people who aren't actively involved in this situation. I would also suggest, and I think we've seen this a lot with another individual on this app, understanding just because a court record exists doesn't mean it is what you think it is. We know our justice system is fucked up. We know there are people who have been found sitting on unalived row because they were falsely convicted of heinous crimes. Thank you, Italian love. We know that there are people in this world who have been accused and demeaned and belittled for something they haven't done. And we know that there are people who will misjudge a situation. So before you put out some information, ask if is it relevant to coming after me? I think it's weird to involve my family. I don't know if the intent is to attempt to get me to stop by involving them. I don't think it's okay to do what's happening. And I know that a lot of people are going to be like, well, she supported what Rissa said. Rissa said she was going to post in a community Facebook group. And yeah, I said, I'm not going to stop her. Because someone sat there and laughed about my essay and said they didn't regret it and they stood on it. You can't tell me if you've been through that experience at any level, no matter how bad your trauma is, when you hear someone invalidate it in the most public ways and laugh about it and tell people at least you got to enjoy it, and call me a narcissist all you want, I'm a huge empath. And in that moment, I didn't even really give a fuck about what it was being said about me. It's how other people are hearing this, and knowing some people haven't told their story because they're scared people won't believe them. And this being the exact reason why. If you've got beef with me, you've got beef with me. But again, if your point is that I'm such a terrible person, maybe don't bring innocent people into it. And I know I can't argue with people who don't want to hear it and who are just enjoying this, but some things went too far today. Again, if you're listening, Holly Mae had every genuine intention of just letting you know, hey, these people are reaching out, and I just want to give you a heads up because I would want to know. I don't think it crossed your mind that maybe I wanted to let you know because I've had someone misconstrue a story about me on here. And instead of telling me, people gave my information out willingly in terms of that. So maybe that's why I wanted to reach out to you and let you know. But I'm not looking you up. I don't care. And I don't even understand half of what's going on, why it's going on. I don't understand the invalidations. I don't understand bringing family members into it. I don't understand. I don't understand any of it. Honestly.
Smells like desperation to me.
I just know at the end of the day, I stand up for what's right, and I've spoken my piece and done my part, and it's time to move on now. So I don't care if everyone's here to watch the drama and y'all leave and it means I got 5 people in here. I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, I'm not here for the money. I'm not here for the views. My hope has always been you just understand who you follow. And you might still want to follow them after I give you information. Just like keto. I didn't expect to change everybody's minds. I know a lot of people opened up and saw who he was. But my goal wasn't to tell you all, never give him money. It was just to help people understand, if you're giving him money, here's the person you're supporting. So that's gonna be the continuation of my goal. It's not about PayPals, it's not about Cash Apps. It's just about being honest. And I am really concerned with the number of individuals I've gotten messages about on this app who people have disclosed information regarding being on registries. It's concerning knowing that minors can get on this app and connect with anybody in the world. Without a level of regulation in terms of who that person is. Grooming's a real thing. Manipulation's a real thing. And I'm really starting to worry about the kids on this app, because just like, I don't know who's been kind of I don't know how many of you know a lot about Barry, the guy we were watching the other night, but Barry got kicked off this app last year because he's heavily inappropriate with very young girls. Hi. And he is not convicted. He's not registered. But he does show a strong inclination for young girls from the UK. And those young girls do appear to kind of be in his box to mess with him. And thank you, Catherine. And I know they Snapchat with him. They play Roblox, I believe, with him. And it is concerning based on some of his behaviors. The telling the girls he won't just let anyone up in his box. Especially if a male happens to slip by and get up in the box, because he doesn't like having males in his box. That's a huge no-no for him. And he has in videos expressed that he is interested in girls under the age of 18. We know he's lied about his age at times. I don't know how he thinks he passes as a 20-something-year-old. He looks older than the age that I believe he is, which is 55 or 56. But I don't know. I just feel like if you have kids and you haven't had conversations with them, I think it's important to do that. They might be hard, they might be awkward, it might be uncomfortable, but I do worry about the girls that are kind of appearing to play Barry and going onto apps where their information might be given. Someone messaged me the other day, gave me info on another P3 that I'm starting to look into. Just don't like that kids are put at risk like that. I don't think it's right. But I also think that if you think you're protecting your children by not having these conversations with them because they're hard, or you don't want to put ideas in their head, I actually think that concept does more harm than good, because the lack of conversations makes it harder for them to even, I think, want to talk at times. And when you can show that you're open to having those and not judging or belittling them, it's probably easier for them to approach you down the road too if something's going on. But I know the cool thing is, like, don't do what your parents say. Like, oh, my parents said it's bad, but is it really? Just let them know. I think a lot of us grew up in the AOL days of ASL and chat rooms and no, it's a lot scarier today than it was 20 years ago. Yeah. And that's not me, like, trying to tell anyone how to parent. I just, personal thing. I think it's important because I'm seeing a lot of kids going up into these men's boxes, especially young girls going into men's boxes. It can be women too. I think that's important to emphasize. It's not just men on women. It can be men on men, women on women, women on men. Like, it's all around. And they might think it's harmless to get up in a box and tease someone because they think they're creepy, but sometimes you don't know what you're doing till it's too late. So, and again, Barry has said on live with an individual who was interviewing him, he's interested in girls under 18. So, protect your children, keep them safe. Remember, it doesn't take a lot to be a good human. If you got beef with me, you got beef with me. I can't reason with people who don't want to reason, but if the person did take that video down today of my little sister, I do want to say thank you, because regardless of differences or anything, that was absolutely the right thing to do. She is an amazing individual with a bright future. And I would hate for anybody to think that it's okay to go after anybody's relatives on this app. I don't know. Sometimes people will surprise you, and I will give them the benefit of the doubt in that, because based on what I saw, I think they thought it was me, but there's a lot of differences between me and her, even in how much we look alike. So, one being, my mom and dad were together until I was in my 20s, which I've been very honest about. So I wouldn't have known my stepfather when I was that young. Just saying. But again, if you're going to make accusations about me,